New York City, New York, baby. We got a huge show coming up this Tuesday at the Gramercy Theater doing an AYG and Friends.
Ooh-wee.
Big J. Okerson, Mark Norman, Ari Shafir, Kipperino's going to be there. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, gang. Also, we have the Route 66 tour and Parks Casino in Philadelphia. Get those tickets. Everything's available at arugarbage.com. We'll see you there.
See you Tuesday.
Welcome to another exciting edition of Are You Garbage? The show where you find out if your favorite comedians are classy individuals or absolute trash. Now, here are your hosts, Kevin Ryan and H. Foley.
Hey, everybody out there, and welcome back to everybody's favorite podcast. This is Are You Garbage?
Oh, yeah.
It's that little show we sit there with your favorite comedians, and we find out if they're good to be classy or just a big old piece of trash.
Trash.
I'm your host, H. Foley, coming at you on a beautiful day. We're out back here at Tootie's in the new edition. She was arrested this morning at 8 o'clock by the Pennsylvania State Police.
Okay.
She should have been for what she did in the bathroom this morning. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
Swinging a miss on
Yes,
that.
sir. I thought the tag was going to get me.
My co-host is coming at you from right next to me. He is the CEO of Are You Garbage. He is an international businessman and my best pal in the whole wide world. Give it up for KJ, Kevin James Ryan, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. As always, please make sure you rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Full video available on YouTube. Then, obviously, the greatest website of all time, www.patreon.com/areyouGarbage. You go over there, you get all that bonus content needs, gang. Having a stroke.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Gang, we couldn't be more excited to have our incredibly, and I mean incredibly special guest back with us again today for the anthology known as the Chronicles of Jason. He is a diamond in the rough. If that diamond was blue raspberry flavored.
It's a ring pop in the rough, this guy.
He is one of the best storytellers of our generation. He's one of the funniest comedians working. We absolutely love him. You love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason, what's your middle name?
Michael.
Yikes. Big J. Okerson, everybody. Let's go.
You want to sound like a genius every time you meet a Jason. Goes, you want to name Michael? It usually is.
Is it?
One of the few names that flows with Jason, okay.
I
Jason
pegged you
Michael.
for a guy that didn't have a middle name.
At all.
Yeah.
Just a flat out.
Oh, buddy, you got no middle name vibes. Real bad.
I've got a Jewish name. My Hebrew name. They do that when you're born. Asher.
Really?
Yeah. Which is such a funny one. And
Jason Michael
Is
Asher
that-
Okerson?
that's not on any documents. Like, if TSA grabs you, you're not like,
no,
oh.
Asher, you're on a list.
Yeah. Okay.
This must be him. Who's named that?
You pulled that out if you get jammed up, though, huh?
Oh,
Fellas,
yeah.
what are you talking about?
Guys, fellow Jew here, Asher Okersenberg.
You got the pay us going.
Oh, my mom just could not wait to fuck the Jewish right out of our family.
Really?
I mean, between my dad, my step-pop's Italian guy, you know, it's like
you never did anything Jewish growing up. You never did. You didn't have a bar mitzvah. You didn't do. Did you do Hanukkah? Anything? It was all.
I mean,
you did?
Yeah, my grandmother would do a Hanukkah. Yeah, which was just like there was no real celebration. It was just lighting the menorah and you get a smaller present each day.
It's just 8 lighters.
They're grill lighters, though.
Yeah, dude.
Just bought a 3-pack and took them out one a day. She goes, you buy 3 3-packs, we have a surplus now.
Man, that's so funny.
No, it was funny. You'd get like a He-Man, and then the next day you'd get like the sword for the He-Man.
The
Like, it was
helmet,
like,
the
just
helmet.
break it
It's in
down.
the same package.
Let's break it down.
The last day you get the receipt.
In case you want to take it back for something else. Now that you have the full character.
The prices on it, so they know how much they paid.
Menorah, and we would do like Passover. Like we treated it like any holidays. It's like every holiday was just like Thanksgiving. Does that make sense? It was
Sure.
more like there was no like celebrate. We didn't do like a Seder or a read
Just
from
everybody
anything.
together.
Everyone
Gotcha.
gets together for Passover, and we had dinner at my grandmother's
A
house.
nice
It was
hoagie
kinda
tray.
that. Until
Gotcha.
Primo's
Passover.
hoagies.
I do remember one thing. It's such a funny, and maybe I'm just missing up the nights, but I think the night my grandfather passed, I do think they do it this quick. He passed in the hospital in the evening. I was staying at my mom's friend's house for the night, so they could like
How old were you?
10 or 11.
Okay.
I was staying there for the night because my mom was going to the hospital.
Sure.
And then he passed at the hospital. And then my mom came and picked me up, and she was like, we're going to, your grandmother's house now to, like, be with everybody. And it was, we just found out he passed away. And we got back to that house. Hoagie tray, dude. To make your own.
gotta eat.
A nice make your own
Yeah,
hoagie tray.
that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's just so funny that
Now
someone
we're
like that.
reading from Pat Cooper.
But It's just so funny. It's like he just passed away, and someone still had to go. Like, did you put a paper towel under those rolls? I'm not going to be vacuuming all night.
I know, dude.
I just picture they have like a red phone that goes straight to Primo's. Holy shit, there's a death in the Okerson family.
I loved my grandfather so much. I was just too young to really process it. And all I remember from that night is going there being a lot of people and a lot of food. I'm like, this is very impromptu to have such a spread already. And then
Super Bowl?
and I remember going in for
People
something
doing
else like
karaoke and shit.
that was this night I remember going like, I'm like, what is this? And they were like, tongue. And I went, yeah. And that's my big memory from the night my grandfather died. I was like, I looked at that tongue and I'm like, oh, it's tongue. It's like a shaved tongue.
I didn't know Wawa served tongue. Is that an off menu? How did you? Do you
Whoa,
know a guy?
Pop died. This must be. Where did we go? We go to a fancy place?
Tongue in the hoagie tray?
Tongue.
Turkey, ham, and tongue? Get the
That's
fuck out of
just,
here.
they add
We
that.
got no chicken salad? What are we doing here?
Roast. Yeah, it was very Jewy meats. It was a little corned beef, roast beef, turkey.
I'm with
tongue.
all that. Yeah, tongue. Get out of here.
Yeah, get a little liverwurst, a little chopped liver. The trays were crazy.
Hey, let me get a slice
Spicy
of
mustard
heel.
out the wazoo.
I love
Clear out the sinuses a little bit.
So the last time you were here, again, we're here for the 4th installment of the Chronicles of Jason. We got through junior high. We got through high school a little bit. You've been doing comedy for a long time. You started out in Philly. We started out in Philly.
Yeah.
You came up through the Laugh House, Black Comedy Club in Philadelphia. Shout out to it on South Street. We started out there, and when we started out around 2008, 2009, you were like a god.
I was gone by that point.
You were gone.
You were the
knew of you-
idea of success.
That you can like get out. It's like,
We're
we
like,
can get out of
You
Philly.
can get out of Philly. Jay's doing it.
All we knew of you
started
was
getting tattoos.
a couple of pictures in the a couple of pictures in the
Dyeing
Laugh
my
House.
hair. Let's go.
Couple of pictures in the Laugh House of you wearing all velour or something like that.
Some crazy
some
outfits for sure.
jumpsuit.
The
sitting on
funniest
a
was,
stool.
not being religious at all, but definitely if you had to identify, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm Jewish, if anything, but not religious at all. And man, I mean, how quick. I didn't even think. I just went with the style. Like a big chain with a cross was the style.
Yeah.
So I just wore it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also like, and nice little hitch. The black people probably, that'll buy me 30 seconds.
Sure.
That was the difference between me and Kurt. Kurt Metzger started 3 weeks after me in the
Did
same
he start
club.
at the Laugh House
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
It was a very specific education starting there, and I accredit a lot of who we are as comedians. For
I wouldn't
being
change
there.
any of it. I
No.
said in the way because one, what I didn't understand until I,
don't
started
know,
doing.
I would. Dude, I had a couple of bad sets
Oh,
there.
I had
Oh my
nightmares.
god!
I got jumped.
Yeah,
I've
that
been,
was all part of it.
Dude, I had one.
I've been jumped by promoters. I've had all kinds of crazy. I had to threaten to fight Javon Pearson to get money once.
When we were there, the white guys were me. I think Kippy was in there. Ian Cassidy, Richie Redding.
Richie Redding was like the tail of
He
me
was a
coming
movie
back
star
bunch.
when we got there. Richie was. I remember. He had like a Marty McFly vest on, and he was up there murdering. Somebody would say something, he'd kill him, and be like, "Holy!"
He brought
shit.
a gazelle for a little bit on stage. He was doing like a Tony Robbins character. But here's the thing. I have no, as you'll hear in this episode, I'm sure, I drew no lines. Right away, I was like, this scene isn't going to be where I hone my killer jokes.
Sure.
And I'm also 19. I have no life experience. So it's just going to be
That's when you
observational.
started 19.
Yeah. I'm just going to have like observational bullshit about like
And
a
just learn how to be on
19-year-old's
stage.
life.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, and then I learned like you can kill. It could be very vapid material, but I mean, like if you are doing the craziest, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go, then I'm fucking her up on 1 foot, and you can like, jump
Yeah.
and hold the stool and do some kind of crazy thing. They're like, everyone was going crazy, so I learned that quick. So, and I
The
wish
incarnations of Jay
I can go
Okerson
back.
are wild.
I got to go back. We have
What year are we talking?
Yeah, what are
here?
we talking? So you're 19. When did you start going down there?
99.
Helium didn't exist
Didn't
in Philly,
exist.
right?
No, and everything had gone away. It was apparently I had missed by like a few years, like the hotbed of Philly comedy, because there was Copacabana, as they said, was a
Sure,
place.
that was a place.
I think there was a Coconuts.
There was,
Comedy
I
Club.
believe, a Coconuts.
The Laugh House used to be called, what's his name? What's the big comic from Philly?
David Brenner,
Brenner's.
yeah.
David Brenner's Laugh House.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
When that was LAUGH, and then
They switched.
D. Lee and the Hot 97 DJ and a couple other people bought it and made it the
That's who
LAFF
owned it when
house.
you were there? Because us, it was Miss Mona and Mr. Rod.
Miss Mona and Mr. Rod were the co-owners with him. He stole D. Lee and then split.
Big J airing out the laundry.
Fuck D. Lee, dude. I hope he's listening.
Jesus.
That guy, years later, this was one of the funniest things. D. Lee was one of the owners of the Laugh House. He got in trouble. They said he was stealing money out of the stuff or taking money from the business. He just vanished. One day gone. He was not hot, Power 99 morning DJ.
Man.
And he just split. He got the fuck out of Dodge. And then
Out of Philly or out of
Philly.
I love
And then
it.
opened up a club in St. Louis.
Okay.
I went down to the club in St. Louis first time. That's its own like goofy story of like. I went down there like he just did like 45 minutes as a host. He just hosted every night.
That was big. The host would go up and do a long time.
And it was.
And if they were the owner, forget about it.
And this was like me. And he had me down there to like headline his club because he didn't have money, so he wasn't paying anybody good money. So I came down there and did it. And I was like, I don't give a shit. At the end of that, there was a 2-week waiting for my money thing happened.
Sure.
But this is also when beggars can't be choosers. So a year or so later, when he had a new location in
Man,
St. Louis,
I've fallen for that.
can you come out to this one? Sure.
Still not paid.
Can I bring Dave? No, I got paid for the other one
Okay.
eventually. Like 2 weeks later, I go out there with I bring Dave Smith to open for me.
How long ago was this? How long have you known Dave?
20 years almost.
So you
now,
weren't
I'd
still
say,
in
yeah.
Philly at this point?
No, this is out of Philly.
Okay.
This is I'm just giving a
Sure.
D. Lee to give you the guy.
I gotcha.
Just how it goes like years later. I'm already in New York at this point.
Okay.
Everything he just reaches it, but it's still like I said, like headline gigs are like few and far between. So
You got to take them.
they asked me to go anywhere out of New York. I'm like, sure, for any money. But Dave goes with me, and it was like I was told I was getting like maybe $2,000 or something, which was pretty good for me. and Dave Smith was getting like $500 or something.
No, he
I'm
wasn't.
like, great. And we go down there, and it's in an industrial park, this club. It's a nice club, actually, but it's just there's no one there. I'm not drawing. That wasn't going to be the case. The other club was down by the riverfront, so it was just foot traffic. It was busy. Now it's not busy. They canceled the Sunday show we were going to have because the MTV Music Awards were killing ticket sales. And all
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
But that day, I got a
special
call.
TRL.
That day, I got a call from him, and he goes, oh man, he was talking to your boy Ray, and Ray, Ray, of course.
Shout out to
Shout out too.
Ray Gordon. He goes, your boy Ray. He goes, I'm just going back and forth with him right now. He goes, dude came down to the club, and like I told him I was going to pay him, I was going to send his money, whatever, and then he's hit me up like, yo, I need that money. He goes, I FedExed it to him, and it's like he's not even there to. He's like, and he texts me. He goes, I said, I FedExed to you. He said, I'm on a plane. I'm like, well, motherfucker, I'm trying to send you this money. What? And he's giving you a story. You're like, why are you telling me
Yeah,
this?
because
And then
he's
you're
about
like,
to tell you the same fucking
shit.
thing.
Yeah. I'm like, why are you giving me all this thing? He's like, and it's just like, I like guys.
You got
like,
Western Union?
more than one comedy club owner has done this to me before. He goes, it's why I just like guys like you, man. You're fucking cool. You just go the thing. It's like
You're a big
you don't
pussy.
make waves. You understand. You understand that like
I
sometimes.
can kick your ass. You can't handle yourself when shit hits the fan.
But the Laugh House was that's another step in the education. Like Cotton said, Ray, who was like a great mentor when we were there,
Yeah.
get your fucking
That's
money
do not-
that night.
You do not leave without getting
But
your money.
you're a little outnumbered in these situations.
For sure. For sure.
So I go.
In theory, that's the rule.
So at the end of the weekend, he does the old like, "Hey man, I'm gonna send you the money, whatever." And now, let's talk. We're home 2 months, and he keeps going like, "Shit, man, I forgot." And then, oh no, I'm wrong. He gave me a check, and he goes, "Don't cash this till Wednesday."
I've done that before.
Yeah, don't cash it till Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, that's fine. Tuesday, I get a call. Don't cash that check.
Burn it.
Why? He goes, someone stole. It's all lies. Someone stole my checkbook, so now I have to cancel all those checks. I'm gonna reissue a new one. Now it's like 2 months go by, and he keeps doing like the. Oh man, I thought my assistant's. Let me figure it out.
There's no assistant.
No assistant. There's no checkbook that got taken. And so, and Dave especially is broke too. I have a
Yeah,
kid.
you need
Sure.
that money. It's
Yeah,
like,
we're like-
the worst part is you bank on, I'm leaving, I'm coming home with that money on Tuesday, and
you
I'm
brought
clear.
him, so you
And
feel a little
and they can also
responsible.
get you. Also, when you're young and have no money too, what people can get you with is something's coming down the road too.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, look, I don't got. And you're like, okay, well, I'm fine this week. And then, oh shit, like in 3 days, that money's gonna show up, and I'm like, all right, that'll be great.
Then I'll have a surplus.
Yeah.
Like I'll be living in a surplus.
And then months. What? And then I call him probably for the 15th time to be like, hey, D, what is going on?
I know FedEx be tripping.
Yeah. Did you send it to 2 Ray? Because he's not home. So
I did run to the store. I might have missed them.
Yeah, he goes, wait a second. Oh, is there a FedEx?
FedEx is wild.
I didn't see a sticker, but they don't leave the stickers. But he calls me up and he goes, or I go, hey, man. And he goes, hey, man, I don't have time to deal with this right now, okay? Because my sister just died, and we got to blah, blah, blah. And it caught me so on the ropes that I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know your sister died. And I gave him this heartfelt apology, and then I hung up. And I took 10 steps. And then I was like, wait a second. And I call back and go, D, if that's even true, I'm sorry to hear that, but what the fuck does that have to do with that? You sending me money from 2.5, 3 months ago?
I got to get a hoagie tray.
She's the one that worked at FedEx, motherfucker.
Like, yeah, he goes, I got to get tongue for the family.
We're mourning here.
So I call back. And
it's Hanukkah, Jay. It's Hanukkah.
And then very quickly, shortly after that, he never sent the money. And then he just went, apparently he owed a lot of people money like this. It wasn't the only one. So he went off grid completely.
I love it.
And then popped back up.
Hey, Jay, I got a
where he
gig
exists
for
now.
you.
Oh, you could look at this online right now. Have at it, everybody. Christian comedian D. Lee. And now he only performs like churches and like those groups. He's doing the same bits from when he was back years ago. He's terrible. And then when he popped back up, me and Dave Smith on Legion of Skanks talked about that and told that story again and told the whole thing. And then our fans started wailing on his comments of his religious thing.
Don't do that, guy.
And then he sent me a message going like, Jay, listen, man, I want to make right on all the things I did and then send you that money, man. But this is 10 years later.
Sure.
He goes, I want to send you that money and make right with you and stuff. And like, give me an address so I can like cut you a check or something. And on this, I went, nah, I think I'm just going to let my fans destroy your religious page. Instead, I just left it alone at that. But that was the owner of the place when I started.
That's another thing, too, at the Laugh House. That was my introduction into Christian comedy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
seeing
That was even a thing.
And I remember going to those shows like, what the fuck is going on in here?
I found out it was a Christian show one time. When you get there, that's the worst. And with me and Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart was always able to adapt. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, he's an entertainer.
He could just adapt.
You are no Kevin Hart.
I'm no Kevin Hart.
If you're a white comedian, young white comedian doing a black Christian show, you're bombing.
You're bombing.
You're done.
You're bombing.
You know nothing about black church.
No, dude.
You're coming at it from a way different field.
And your leeway.
You might as well be the devil.
Your leeway is nil.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the slightest. The first mess up, they're going like, here we go.
You guys ever go skiing?
Yeah. Myself, I'm an atheist. Oh, hell no. No, I appreciate what you guys are into, though. I mean, I like fables and shit.
Losing it.
Yeah. No, those shows were awful. But, yeah,
packed out, though. And when you saw, I remember Cotton and Temple doing them and they're murdering. And I'd being like, Jesus.
No. And I learned, like I said, so that what was funny was to watch. There's one tape I have. I just have to get it transferred to, like, digital or whatever. Because it's just got one set of each. It's all I could find. It's Breakout is on there. You know Breakout, right? Ty Jamison. He calls himself 30 different things. He was a regular there at the time.
Breakout.
The names are good.
Names are great.
I remember the first time I went there, and I was like, everybody had a name and an intro song. I'm like, I got to step my game up.
Tommy Too Smooth, baby. Shout out to him.
Tommy Too Smooth. One of my favorite young stories. This is a me and Kevin Hart thing that's great.
Kev, but something about Aura Frames.
Ooh, love that Aura Frames.
Let me tell you something. You got a mom, you got a cousin, you got a sister, you got an aunt, you got a grandmother, they got a birthday, they got whatever coming up. Get an Aura Frame. You throw it on the counter, upload the pictures. They get to keep up what Billy's doing, what Tommy's doing, what Kippy's doing, smoking heaters behind the bleachers. Everybody.
Yeah, the best part, it comes with unlimited storage. All you need is the free Aura app and a Wi-Fi connection. You can upload as many photos and videos as you want all year round. Let me tell you, the broads love this.
Woo!
Denise got one in
Sliding
every
off their
room.
seats.
How you die? Boom, pow, boom. You feel like it's one of those things, if you're bad at gift giving, which I am, it's one of those things where they go, you don't even really have to think about it. Aura does all the thinking for you because the product's so good. And then they go, this is so good.
We can stay
Oh
connected.
my God. And they're showing other people. They go, look, Kippy got me the thing, and I get the kids. And you go, yeah,
Plus, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
upload a picture and give it to her. A tasteful nude, something like that. You know what I mean? Juice them up a little bit.
Oh, sorry, wrong frame. What a personal frame. Right now, Aura's having their very best friends and family sale, and we've got an exclusive offer
What do you got?
just for AYG listeners. For a limited time only, you can get $35 off their best-selling frame by visiting auraframes.com using the promo code code GARBAGE at checkout. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.com. Promo code GARBAGE. This is the best offer of the season, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply.
Sure.
Do it.
Gang, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. We've both used BetterHelp.
Yes.
Trying to get through some stuff. Talk therapy. Licensed therapist. Own home. You don't got to go wait in an office or anything like that. Doesn't got to be big things, Kippy. You could just be trying to get through something. You got a promotion. You got you're dealing with somebody at the house. Talk to somebody. BetterHelp can help.
Yeah, talk therapy is a fantastic
Copyright
tool.
Foley.
I've used it a lot myself through different periods of my
This guy's
life.
nuts.
Oh my God! I use it through a lot of different periods. Whether if you're going something with the girl, you got something going with the broad, you're banging your head against the wall.
She's yapping.
You need to get it out. You can text. You can message them. You can video call, all from the comfort of your home, your own home. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Your wiener's small. Talk to somebody.
Oh, that's rude. if you think starting therapy, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp.
Can't help that.
And that's the wrong doctor for that. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient.
Jesus.
I'm dying over here. Designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. Here's the turkey. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/garbage today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/garbage. Do it.
Hold on. Take us back. Not to cut you off.
Sure.
So you're 19. Is that the first place? Is the Laugh Fest the first place you did stand up? Is that where you started?
Yep.
And where are you living at the time?
I was in South Jersey.
In your parent with
my
your
mom's
mom.
house. Yep.
Okay.
My mom's
What's the
step-up.
car you're taking? Your
in the
car or their
beginning-
car?
In the beginning, it was probably theirs sometimes, and then I got one. Ultimately, a shitty
Whatever.
$800 car or whatever.
Sure.
And so no, I had a car, which was always a big thing too. Which actually, when we started going,
That's a big thing as a young comic. You can be an opener because you got a car.
and when we started going to like even New York and stuff, it was like, okay, I can drive, I can get us there
100%.
and do
That was
gigs.
a huge thing.
Big deal. So like, so I would drive in.
Who do you meet the first day when you show up? So your
Well,
first
so
open mic is at the Laugh House.
My first thing was someone suggested that I try comedy. My friend Jamie, and she was like, we caught up like after I moved senior year, so we had not lost touch. We didn't see each other for a year. She moved to Jersey afterwards, and we had dinner, and she was
Moving
like,
senior year's a tough look, dude.
It was tough.
You are the best.
It was tough. Senior year move sucked. Oh, I think I told them the last time too, because that was when they were like, hey, we want you to go to the dance with this girl. Like, so you can come to the school dance of the school you were at.
You can go attend the
man.
old.
And it was a nerd girl,
Oh,
but
it's just what the
she shows up that night for the prom. I go to her house to go get her and with all the people and stuff, and she is
A dime piece?
stunning.
knockout. That's
And
like
then,
the movies.
I don't know why. I'm a virgin who probably at this point hasn't really made out with chicks even much yet or anything. Pretty inexperienced as far as that goes.
That's me now.
And I think that night after the dance, the junior prom or whatever it was, I was like, I was like, hey, I told her, like, her friend, I was like, yeah, let her know, like, I'm down. Like, I'll do it. And they were like, she's not interested in that at all. I was like, okay.
She just needed a ride.
She just needed
I
a
can
ride.
do 10 minutes. I can do 10 minutes clean if you need me. I'll get you to the prom and back.
So my friend Jamie suggested we went to dinner one night, and she was like, oh, I thought you'd always try comedy. You were so funny. And it never even batted around my mind like what you would do to start comedy.
100%.
I just knew comedy. I knew the comedy.
100%.
I was the same
But I'm
way.
like, these people are on TV, so I don't know what's
Yeah.
the grassroots
What's the
of
first
that.
step?
And I know. And my friend Ernie the next day was like, "Come
Man,
with
you're
me."
cast a character. My friend Ernie.
Ernie was the guy who was dating. Ernie
He's
was
not
the-
alive, is he?
Ernie, yeah, Ernie's alive. He's like a musclehead like kind of guy. But Ernie was
Really?
the one that got me. He's like, my girlfriend's dad works driving escorts and stuff, so that's
Right.
what got me the job doing that.
Go.
But Ernie goes, you want to come me to South Street to buy sneaker? I'm gonna get some sneakers. And I was
Okay.
like, sure, I'll take a ride. And I just never noticed. All those years, I just never noticed that comedy club.
There was a comedy
Yeah.
club.
And I just happened to see that sign for the Laugh House. I remember the sign too, and it was like, who was going to? It said Thursday nights open mic, Blazing Thursdays.
Blazing
And
Thursdays.
I went in. It was open, and I was so funny. I forget her name now, but like it was the girl at the front desk who I knew forever
Course.
after that point, and real pretty. And I was asking, I was like, "What's the open mic?" And it's like Thursdays starts at 7:00. You have to be here to sign up before that or whatever. And I was like, "Anyone can just sign." She's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I went, Thursday. It might have been Wednesdays at that point, but whatever it was, I went 4 in a row and just chickened out.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wait, went there,
Didn't
didn't
put your
sign
name
up?
on?
Did sign up, and then Ray would come over to me and be like, "All right, big guy, like you're next," and I'd go, "Ah."
Oh, no.
And then the fourth week,
That's
the fourth
crazy.
week that I didn't go on, I said no, and then he went on stage anyway. And he goes, "Nah, dude, you're doing this. You're here again." He's like, "You're going up."
What?
And
Love
I
him.
went, dude, I'm not going on. And then he called my name, and I didn't go on. I was like,
What?
no, I was like,
Oh, my God.
And then the next week, I was like, I'm gonna bring friends. I told no friends to come. I didn't tell anybody about it because I was just going to do it. And I was like, let me bring people because if they pay their $5 to get in,
I have to go up.
I'm now pressured to go.
Sure.
I was somebody think of that in hindsight. I was like, look, if these guys all come up off of 5 smackers, dude, I am now forced.
I'm out $15.
They didn't give you comps? I figured they'd give you comps.
No.
There could be no Big J Okerson for $20. That's crazy, dude. For $20, there could be no Big J.
If I just want to give you, he goes, you know, guys,
You know what?
here, everyone take the money back. I'm sorry. Round the drinks on me. I'll eat shit. And I went up the first night, and I did well. I don't remember what the jokes were at all. But I did pretty well. And I said to go back to those times with I was saying the video I wish I had. It's what I learned. My first set was good. Then I went up next week. I also thought you had to write a new
I did the same
5
thing.
minutes every time you got
Yeah.
on stage. Well, not even 5, 3 minutes it was in the beginning.
Which felt like,
Forever.
a week.
I always say that's one of my favorite things. Like, so funny how long you need to kind of get comfortable on stage as you move through
Years,
this
yeah.
or whatever. But I'm saying no, but I'm saying like even when you get on now, not comfortable is the wrong word, but take a second to like kind of warm into it
Sure.
and stuff. What you're doing, like I didn't know like any of that, so I would go up there and just like I said, a new 5 minutes every week. I thought for sure, and I was like holding myself to it, and then adding more and more. Like I was just learning. I was like, oh, like they seem to like it if I really yell that punchline. And the only thing I didn't do was pick up the vernacular. I always just kind of talked the way I talked. But, I mean, how much I was mimicking, which is what I did a lot when I was a young comic, too. When I would see somebody I liked, I would kind of almost like, not even on, I guess probably on purpose, but not like
Yeah, you
Pick up
like
their
it.
cadence.
Yeah,
mimicking
sure. That's
their
working. I like
the
it.
cadence, but even like the, you know, like the mic hold or the whatever the fucking thing
Sure,
is.
the
You know how to do.
mannerisms, yeah.
So it's like this tape, what I love about my set on it that I have is a sleeveless shirt,
Oh, my God.
Malone Sport, which is a big and tall brand.
That's
Hold on, I gotta see
that's
this.
the incarnation of Jay Okerson at this time when you first got there. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you categorize that as?
Like style?
This wasn't the hip hop Jay Okerson.
No, this is hip hop.
This is hip hop
This is
Jay
hip-hop.
Okerson.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's the benefit I had over Kurt. Kurt was a leaps and bounds world's better writer of
Just
jokes
dressed normal.
than any was. But he
You
would go up
type this
there,
in, just a Carl Malone jersey comes
Yeah.
up, by the way. Malone Sport, big and tall.
but and Kurt would go up there and like have these great jokes. And like it was just didn't matter because like he would get up there right away and then we go, look at this khaki pants wearing goofy motherfucker. And then Kurt would just be like, so hey guys, the
I was
Boy
walking down the
Scouts-
street the other day.
Yeah, the scouts are firing guys for being gay. And he would just go into his joke, and he had such good jokes, but they just wouldn't. And this one set I have of Kurt that's great is he's going, and it's actually not a bad set. The jokes are doing well, but you just see his thing. He's just frozen in place, telling his jokes. And we've been at this club 4,000 times at this point, and he asks after every punchline that goes good, he's hoping to God that's his out.
No
So
shit.
he asks if the light is for him after every set.
man.
Any light.
Talk about looking for
There was
a
the red
club.
light, direct
Yeah,
center.
yeah,
You knew where
yeah.
the light was, but he would go, he goes, hey, why do cab drivers always smell like they're wearing the same cologne? Calvin Klein's Hoagie. And then they would laugh, and then he'd go, is that for me?
That me?
that-
Guys, can we wrap this up?
Up here?
Somebody lighting a cigarette in the
No?
back.
Oh, keep going. Okay, I'll keep going. And then he would just like start his next joke, and then after that joke, is that another one? Okay, I'll do another one. Me, I am Chris Rock, Bring the Pain, walking the stage, pacing, and this motherfucker right here, and this guy right here, and oh man, this guy right here goes, you know you're gonna fuck that bitch later. You know you about to fuck that bitch later. If a bitch is gonna fuck you, she lets you know by doing. And I'm just doing like all.
Did you ever use the stool as a telephone?
No, never telephone.
That's a good move. That is a good
What?
Never
A
telephone.
home run right there.
But I fucked it
You
so
hummed it,
much.
yeah.
I fucked it. I did a lot of sassy head movement. it was so many misdirections. It's all you have is like the most basic level of comedy.
And
at that point.
what year is this?
99.
99.
When I started, yeah. So, and then my first show,
Jesus.
my first show away from the Laugh House, Touré says to me,
Now, were you doing any rooms of white people at the time?
None.
Or
I didn't even know what the.
That didn't.
You're
even-
just
I
doing the
couldn't
Laugh
believe.
House.
Also, I was like, where else?
like you're
do you
not
go?
picking up like, oh, this is so and so.
After like
A couple
a
of years or
year or
whatever,
so.
Were
after
there
a year or
bar
so-
shows in Philly back then?
So I wasn't in that circle. I didn't know the Scarpati. I didn't know him.
You didn't
or
know
any of
the
that stuff. I didn't know the
Comedy
Comedy
Works?
Works.
Yeah.
Scarpati.
And
Andy Scarpati
he
and
owns. There used to be 8 Comedy Works.
and Paul something. As another guy was.
No,
not
they're
there.
not Comedy Works. Comedy Cabarets.
Yeah, Comedy Cabaret.
Oh,
We
we
were
wanted
just-
to ask you about that.
Did you ever do the Northeast Room
So
on the Boulevard?
That's what was funny was. Then we started figuring out, oh, there is some play. Doc Watson's had like a mainstream open mic that I would go do. Now, what was funny was we do that first year. We're just doing black shows.
And who's the crew?
Exclusively. Me, Kurt, and Kev.
And
Me,
did
Kurt,
you
and
guys
Kevin
did you
Hart.
guys meet there?
Yeah. I started. 3 weeks later, 3 weeks later, Kevin started.
Uh-huh.
And then me and him became kind of immediate friends. And then Kurt started like 3 weeks after that, all like a few weeks after
crazy.
each other.
Wild. This is 1999.
1999.
Jeez.
And yeah, it was so weird. And then Kurt, what's funny was Kurt had these jokes. So when Kurt got to, we're doing a year of this black club where Kurt's struggling, and I'm learning how to do pretty well. His jokes are great.
It's like swinging with 2 bats.
This isn't taking away from Kurt. The jokes are so brilliant,
Yeah, of course.
especially for his age, and like, and he's learning how to perform a little bit more and stuff. I always say the most saving grace for Kurt. I remember this vividly. I mean, the week before I met Keith, and I don't think it's exaggerating by much. Before I met Keith Robinson, it was like kind of the catalyst to
Sure.
get me,
Of
and
course.
me,
OG
me,
Keith.
me, Keith, and or me, Kurt, and Kevin all up to New York.
Right.
He was the kind of guy who pulled us out. A week before that, Kurt got to the Laugh House one night and was telling me, he goes, I'm going to try this new thing tonight. And he goes, and I swear the wording was, you know when you're taking a doo-doo in the bathroom and you hope
Jesus.
nobody notices your shoes because they know they're going to notice. And it's just like some joke. And I was like, doo-doo? I go, oh no, Kurt, you're starting to waver on what you're. I'm like, I'm already doing what you're doing.
I'm a lost soul.
I'm already doing this.
Yeah.
Like, don't do what I'm doing. Because I'm going up there, I'm already like, DJ, put that song on again. I would slap my mama to this fucking song. And I'm doing all
You're
the shit.
doing that?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Now he's trying to
You
steal
got a
you-
pant leg rolled up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my jeans, too.
Yeah.
It was, I went for it. One time I wore a Warwick Dunn jersey and some wide receiver gloves on stage. Yeah, it was so much.
Wide receiver gloves?
Gear's hot, dude.
Gear's hot.
Gear's hot, dude. Gear is dope. You got
You just go.
I
hold
love
on,
that
hold on.
you just keep
Hold on.
progressing. You got like a mouth guard and a helmet on. Blue 42.
He goes, that was a hell of a set. Take the snaps off.
Woo! You're full. He still wears gloves.
You got the Gatorade bottle? Hold on a second. Okay, now we're getting into it.
Sure.
So you went to a sporting goods store and said, give me a pair of wide receiver gloves.
Yeah.
And you
That
wore
was a
them.
Modell's.
Models.
Modell's. Got to go to Mo's.
Well, Models before women knew things about sports at all. You can go to Models and go get a $350 real Eagles jersey, the highest level stuff, switch tags, and bring it to a girl.
No
They don't
idea.
know. They're like, wow, these Jordans are only $5. And you're like, crazy, right? This store's the best.
That's next level dirtbag.
Yeah. A little label switching. When we used to go, my friend figured out they worked at a drugstore and they had a shrink wrapper and they had a machine that can open up Sega Genesis games, the actual cartridge, and take out the
game.
chip itself.
Wait, what?
Wait,
So
the
you can
cartridge.
So you know like a Genesis cartridge,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
There's these screws, a special
Yes,
thing you can do,
on the back.
and you can take it out.
So it comes in half.
And it comes in half, and you can just take out like
The chip.
The
The
game is a chip, yeah. No plastic around it, and then put the plastic back, put it back in the case, shrink wrap it at work, and then bring it back to Toys R Us and just get money back or whatever. It was
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's
Crazy
it's a good
scams.
scam. How would you play the game, though?
It could
Just
just
put it in
plug
another-
but it didn't have it didn't say whatever Sonic.
didn't
on
say
it.
yeah. It just looked like a bunch of like
yeah.
it looked like a micro, like an SD card almost,
Yeah.
but like this big, and you have to like push it
Gently
in the
put
top,
it in,
yeah.
yeah.
Put it in the top and just play NBA jams. What I was dressing like was just everything I saw. This was coming off of. It's a very interesting time in comedy that I came in
Very.
because it was coming right off of, but still very popular, was Def Jam style comedy.
Of course.
Black comedy was the boom at that point. Comic View was doing
Huge.
numbers.
Yeah.
Def Jam was making stars out of these guys. I mean, Chris Tucker, all those people came out of Def. So that was a thing. So
Everybody murdering.
I knew enough to be self-deprecating. 'Cause that's all I really had to keep him on my side. But it's still like, you know, and if you're gonna be eating a bitch's pussy, you gotta be eating it all like blah, 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 blah. You know, you have to, it's like a braggadocious. It's what the rap was at the time. Everything's like, I got money, I get pussy, I'm rich, I blah blah blah.
Are you and Kurt the only two white dudes floating around in there?
No, there was a magician who bombed a lot. There's a couple.
Legendary.
Do you know Rocco Stowe, Brian Stowe?
No. The
Rocco
legendary
was
Wit is floating around in there, right?
Legendary Wit came. He was obviously a comic much longer than I was,
Right.
but his come to the Laugh House was in the middle of my time there already. I was already there for a while. When
So
he
the
started
theory
coming.
this is him. He was like out in L.A. or Vegas, and kind of burnt out and came back. Or
Drug
something.
problems, probably, and all
Yeah.
kinds of shit. And
A
lived in
very
his
funny
car.
prop comic
Yeah,
for the folks out
and
there.
a great dude.
Yeah,
best.
super nice.
You know his
Him,
real name?
Ray.
Dude, he would be doing
Unbelievable.
You know his actual name?
No.
Michael Baldwin. Isn't that fucking crazy? He's a Baldwin.
Pretty good.
Dude, if you were doing bad or he didn't like, because at one point when we came up, or when I started doing the mic there, he was running the mic. The legendary Wood was running the mic, and if he didn't have a light, he would just wave
All
the stack
right,
of
okay.
paper. And if he didn't like the bitch you were doing,
Okay,
a little,
okay.
walk up on
okay.
the,
That's what's so interesting about this to us is so we started 2008, 2009, 2011, whatever, somewhere around that time. You guys were like,
I had seen you on TV on Bad Boys of Comedy. That was my introduction to you.
Yeah, Bad Boys Comedy.
I'm a crazy
I did,
motherfucker.
2008,
You don't want to fuck with me.
or a little earlier than that, I did Premium Blend, I think, was my first thing I did on Comedy Central. Premium Blend, wearing a button-down, oversized button-down shirt.
I don't know if I remember that.
Oh, you can see it.
It's
out there. It exists somewhere.
the fashion choices, man.
Oh, the fashion choices were crazy. And I said, just getting in that black world like that, I was so dialed into that. You know, because I could be self-deprecating, but in my mind, I was like, yeah, a hoodie under a football jersey. It was just all about looking like awesome and hip-hoppy
cool, yeah.
at the time. And my jokes were just, like I said, simple misdirections, whatever. They kind of went nowhere. And then I started doing that's when I started taking my clothes off on stage, down to my underwear.
What?
I've heard about
On a
this.
bodybuilding joke. I would do, my stepfather was a power lifter, or was, I guess, power lifter, and like competitive. And he was always, and his friends when he started coming around were always like other power lifters, by just these monster dudes and everything.
Yeah.
So it's all this like lifting weight stuff. And I made a joke about bodybuilders where I would, I go, man, my stepfather's like so gay, these guys, like they run around in little panties and flexing and oiling. It's just such a gay thing. And then the 2001 theme would kick on, and I would
You have
start.
music. How long of a set we talking?
Wait, you mean the
If it was 3 minutes. I would just, yeah.
So you got 3 minutes set. You got music
2001
cues?
Space Odyssey.
Yeah, da-da, boom, boom,
Musical
boom, boom.
cues.
So that musical, oh yeah, musical cues out the ass.
You're looking at the DJ. Try to keep up, will you?
yeah.
I'm killing up here.
DJ, if you make me say hit it one more time, how many weeks we got to do the same 3 minutes?
Did you ever own any football jerseys that weren't football jerseys? Like they were
Like a FUBU one or something?
Yeah.
Or like
Wasn't
a
a team.
non-actual team.
FUBU baseball jersey.
Oh, I didn't even know they made those.
Baseball.
Now were you
Foo.
with the wide receiver gloves.
I would have.
like Ken Griffey Jr.
They would have been
out there.
batting gloves. I tell you this, for the sake of the look, almost when we went to see Limp Bizkit a couple weeks ago, now, and I was
So
figuring
you
out
really grown up.
figuring out what I was going to wear. We were going to see Corey Feldman.
Sure.
But seeing what I was going to wear, we got on the Fully Loaded tour this year. We played, went to a minor league stadium. They gave us batting gloves, and I put them on. I came out to Christine, and I was like,
What do you think?
And she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "That's like with the look of the thing. It's like the time." And she was like, I wouldn't.
We're having fun out here.
Yeah, I'm like, but I'll be the guy with the batting gloves.
Babe, I will look so
that say
cool.
Savannah Bananas. But yeah, the clothes choice are great. So when I start taking the clothes off, it goes.
How long
What's
into
the bit?
comedy?
What is the bit?
So I'd go. There was no set. It was just because I knew it when I got undressed.
How long into comedy is this?
A year.
And you're just
less or
basically,
That is a
maybe less.
you're
big
just basically
swing.
doing what? A couple of spots a week at the Laugh House.
Laugh House.
are you working
I
there?
would go up. Now we learned at that point probably you could do Wednesday nights open mics at the Stress Factory. We drove up to Doc Watson's. all
Okay.
Drive
that.
up to the stress
Oh,
factory.
I was saying that before when they found us how much they
Oh,
loved
right.
Kurt at like they were like, oh, that Northeast
Cabaret.
Comedy
Comedy
and the Best
Cabaret.
Western has an open mic. And that was my first thing. I'm like, oh, this is what open mic is. It's like 5 comics and 2 people who wandered into a bar.
Sure.
Sitting there now, like, I go, oh, because
It's not a performance.
it's a test. The Laugh House is a bad gauge for you because it's sold out.
Yeah, those shows were
DJ,
hot.
like
Yeah.
everything. Is like, if you kill, you were like, I just murdered at a
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
You couldn't murder at the Comedy Cabaret. It was
No
other-
one's ever murdered
It was
at
other
the
comics
Cabaret.
going.
Sheath underwear, Kippy.
Ooh, got a wiener in a sheath right now.
Talking about OG podcast sponsor. Every goddamn comedian in New York City and LA's got a pair of sheaths. I'll tell you that right now.
Uh-huh.
They're throwing them out there.
Yeah.
Best underwear on the market. Mm-hmm. You know why?
Why is that? Tell
'Cause
me.
you separated nuts from the twig.
Okay. It's a weird combo you got going there.
Nuts and a twig and berries.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you call it?
My no-no special zone. I keep it in my back pocket.
Don't touch me.
Guys, it's revolutionary comfort design. Like the big man said, there's 2 pouches, one for your balls, one for your wiener. You can mix and match whatever you want. Put them in, put them out. Go tucked, untucked. I don't care. They got
Hit the sunroof, baby.
sleek designs, different colors to match your vibe. Whatever you got going, they're going to make you feel good. Don't take our word for it. Thousands of 5-star reviews speak for
Thousands.
themselves, and almost every other podcast out
Yes.
is using Sheath.
Everybody wears them. Everybody loves them.
Official underwear partner of the UFC, which says a
Oh.
lot. Once you try Sheath, you're never going to go back. I haven't gone back. I love them. Elevate your comfort today. Go to sheathunderwear.com. Get the most comfortable underwear you're ever going to wear. Use the promo code GARBAGE. You'll also get 20% off your first order. That's sheath.com. Promo code GARBAGE for 20% off your order. Sheath, the underwear of legends.
There you go. Kip, Mando.
Ooh, Mando.
Remember last week I said I didn't have deodorant and I went and I bought something at the store. That sucked. I remembered we had some Mando here. Took it home. Woo! Dry as a bone, baby. Talking about all over the body deodorant. I do the pits. I do under the belly. I do in the grundle. Get under the hood. Carburetor, whole 9 yards.
I put some on the undercoating.
I'm
Mando.
putting it on toast.
Mando whole body deodorant will be your best friend in the heat. Mando is clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. It's safe for the whole body. We're talking pits, package, feet, anywhere in between.
72 hours. I didn't know that. I don't got a shower.
Not that I was planning on it. It stops odor before it starts. It's American made, USA.
There you go.
Available in 4 cologne quality scents. You got Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and Clover Woods.
I got the Clover Woods.
There you go. Start listing summer activities now, and Mando can keep you smelling good no matter what you do this summer. If you're into volleyball, you're hiking, you're drinking. For me, if you
Volleyball?
that's what it says. For me, listen, if I'm out drinking and catching heaters at a bar, it keeps me calm, cool, smelling good.
You're slugging around the city trying to get to work. You're not playing badminton on the beach. What are you talking about?
I know. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes. I'm a deodorant wipe man myself, and free shipping.
The body wash is all right.
And luckily, we got a discount code for you to get you hooked up with our favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack, gang. Use code
Look
GARBAGE
out.
at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Do it.
There was a comic who took to me named Jerry Torres. I remember if you ever heard him at all. And he would just always talk about his friend AntMan. He goes, "Oh, my boy AntMan up in New York." It was always the stories of New York, and you find AntMan's not a heavily working comic in New York.
But I mean, yeah.
But very, very nice guys, both of them. But it was just a funny, no one knew what the next step was. It was such an interesting thing. And so taking the bodybuilding would start. I'd say, "This is so gay," and then it was starting. I'd almost be possessed by the music, and shirt would come off.
I can hear I can hear it.
Not even all. I'm telling you, on a general basis, that shirt comes off. They were like, oh. They were getting excited for this. And then I would turn around and start undoing my pants to drop down to expose that every week that every show I did comedy, I had to prepare by all night long wearing, for some reason, my stepfather had in his drawer zebra print, bikini underwear. His.
What the fuck?
Strange look. I never saw him wear them, but
He wasn't wearing it in public, dude.
Yeah.
I did. So I'd put these panties on, And then I would turn around.
The life of a comic. So I put my panties on. I told the DJ to
This
hit
is
it.
the act. This is getting ready every time they go to the Laugh House.
Putting that on, yeah, for sure. And then
Wait, hold on. You didn't have this when you started. Not like the 4 times you didn't show up, you had the zebra panties
no,
on.
no.
Okay.
no, this was like
Guys, not today.
this was like a year being in and realizing you're like I'm watching other people.
It's showmanship.
There's people who have like Michael Blackson's big closing joke at the end of his thing that was funny was he would go he was like he goes I'm black as shit, and he's like, and here's my he always had this the X-ray sonogram,
dude.
and he goes, this is my son. It's just like 2 white eyes on a black piece of paper, and he goes, this all dick, and then he unfold it. He goes, more dick, and you just keep unfolding.
He makes me laugh.
The
more
first
than
time I
anybody.
saw that, my fucking head almost
Oh
exploded.
yeah, it's hilarious. So people had things like that. To breakout, the guy breakout was telling me, like, take out your hip hop Bibles, and he would just preach the words of a rap song. Touré did the hip hop breakdown, he called it, where whatever popular rap. I remember it being like, I got a story to tell by Biggie,
And then go through the
and then
lines,
he'd be like, he's like, now he's saying, put the bag over your head, you know, and he's just so charismatic.
He had
it
a
would fucking
yeah.
kill.
He is a murderer.
Yeah, it would kill. It would just destroy. So everyone had these bits where I was like, what's going to be my closing thing? And so
My dad's underwear.
when I would turn, let me throw on my dad's underwear, and I'm turning around, and I would unbutton these pants, and I would, the second pants down. I mean, the room falling to pieces. Like they're laughing so hard, it felt so good. And then I would turn around and I would pose it out, and I'd be like this, and the music would stop. My pants are at my ankles, these little underwear, no shirt, a tank top on, and I'd like pose like this. And I mean, when that music would stop, that's like, I'm like, oh, this is what you're chasing in comedy.
You're chasing that
I'm
high.
like, you can almost stand there like this afterwards, just be like,
Bathe in it.
bathe me in your happiness, in your joy and admiration. And then I met, I guess like a while later down the road, I'd met Keith Robinson. And what it was, I was going to quit comedy. No one knew.
Taking my zebra pants and going home.
I was going to go.
With the underwear bit? What are you,
I
nuts?
know.
You know what it was? I just saw such a ceiling, and I didn't know what the next thing was.
Sure.
And I was just like, I go, maybe I should like, not that I'll never do it again, but I was just like, I should figure out school or something, or a job or something, I guess.
So you're driving in from your parents' house every day? Or for every time there was a show?
Every time there's a
or
show,
whatever?
Couple times a week.
And would you meet up with the boys beforehand?
Yeah, I'd grab
were you
Kurt.
hitting
Kurt didn't
diners?
drive, so I'd grab Kurt. Yeah, me,
you
Kurt, and
boozing
Kev
or
were kind of
no?
like the people. No boozing at all, really. I was driving always. Yeah, not even at that point, man. Not even like cigarettes or weed or anything.
No
really.
shit.
So weird, I know. And so yeah, after
You're a
like a while,
22-year-old kid. 20, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
so I met I said I'm gonna stop doing comedy, and I go. My next door neighbor had an inn. She was like an executive at Cutco.
The knives.
The
That was
knives,
big.
door-to-door knives.
That was big.
And she was like, oh, yeah, so I can get you 3 days of training, and then you can do the job and whatever. It's like until you get back in school or
Unlimited
whatever.
potential.
And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, jobs, sure. And I went to 2 days of the 3 days of training. And on the third day, like in the early afternoon, I get a call from Mike Blackson, who's like, hey, you want to do a gig tonight? And, it's like, I guess Mike didn't hear I retired, but I guess word hasn't spread yet.
Must not been reading
and I'm
page
like,
six.
but I just like, it was just a good thing too. I mean, as soon as he said it, I was like, yes, I do want to do it. It was also rare that I would get a call like that from Mike. And Mike, not that Mike was
I'm
famous
back,
yet.
baby.
Not that Mike was famous,
But big
yet,
enough in
but-
the world.
Of
Yeah,
course.
That's the thing, too.
Of
I mean,
course.
like, I started hanging out with him. He might as well have been fucking Jerry Seinfeld. He was like,
Plus, he's doing well, got a lot of cash, couldn't need a set of steak knives. You know what I
Never
mean?
know, dude. Never know. Two birds, one stone. But he goes, do you want to do this gig tonight? I was like, yeah, sure. And then he goes, go to the Philadelphia airport. There's a ticket waiting for you to go to
Holy shit.
to go to Minneapolis.
no shit.
And it was a show.
Atlantic City.
It was a show that we were going to do you're performing for. It was like an after party for the Minnesota Timberwolves something. So like Bobby Jackson was there. Was a
That
couple
can't be
cool
good,
players.
though.
No Kevin Garnett, and he was still there at the time. But it was like and it's just like a dinner like theater type looking place. And I go to the airport, and the other comic there is Keith Robinson, who I'd never met before.
No
And he was
shit.
like, I seen you around the Laugh House and blah blah. And then on the flight out, we weren't sitting near each other. And there was an empty seat next to him, so he came up and he was like, "Young fella, come back here and talk." And I'm just kind of like, I don't know who Keith is. And so he's just giving me these things, and he's talking. We're getting ready to go do a black show in the black circuit. He's telling me about New York and saying all these names, and I am so eye-rolly about it. It's so funny. I was like, I think Jim Brewer's Premium Blend or something came out recently. I thought he had like a pretty good set on that. I was like, man, Jim Brewer's thing was pretty funny. I might start looking at some more of his stuff. And he goes, Jimmy stinks. And like doing a lot of that familiarity shit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Next time I see Colin Quinn, I'm going to punch him in the face just because you said you think he's funny or whatever. And you're like, okay, dude.
Okay, old man.
And then we go do the show inside. And Keith's closing, obviously. And I'm like, DJ, blah, blah, blah. And, hit that on one more time. And, a bitch can't do nothing in a club without blah, blah, blah. And then, oh, that's the light? Hey, guys, bodybuilding's gay, right? And then taking my clothes off. Murders.
It's murdering.
Murders. I knew so much better how to do black clubs than a mainstream room. A mainstream room, I wasn't like oblivious to what was going on. I knew I was a good getting better at performing and controlling the crowd. Nothing on jokes. So if it was something where I wasn't prepared, when we came to New York eventually.
You're in front of the Timberwolves. This is like a corporate gig.
No. It's a party.
Okay.
It's like
A corporate gig.
No, just the Timberwolves are going to be there.
He's
also.
selling Cutco knives. You think he's booking corporates?
Which, by the way,
fuck?
buddy, if the odds of living next to a rep from Cutco is only you, dude.
Yeah.
That is.
The money's in the licensor.
It's
She was wetting her beak on whatever
legendary.
product he was moving.
I
For
had
sure.
an in with Cutco.
Well, I will tell you what's interesting is we have a huge fan who comes out whenever we're, I think he's California guy, but he comes to Skankfest every year, and I have a whole collection. He's one of the makers. He makes Cutco knives. I think he's involved in the process of making them. So me and Christine have so many, beautiful individual box.
He's such a dirtbag.
Individual box. It's got the Legion of Skanks logo on like a bagel knife.
Sure.
Oh.
Do you have an LOS bagel knife?
I have an LOS bagel knife for
What
sure.
a good schmear.
Well, it cuts and spreads, you see. It's got spatula-like qualities while being able to cut.
Dude, you got the best of both worlds. You're a famous comedian, and you got the Cutco
And I still got the
connect.
Cutco hookup.
I can see you cutting a nail.
He's cutting his shoe in half.
Then right through a tomato.
Day 2 of training. Great day of training, dude. The first day that you cut through a shoe and a tomato. Still cuts the tomato
Now
one
listen,
slice.
you think it's not going to be delicate enough to cut a tomato? You're wrong.
You're wrong.
See how it cuts right through these wide receiver gloves? Man.
Shit, I must have left my kit in the car. Well, here. Son of a bitch. Sale's a sale. Hey, guys, I'm going to cut these gloves in half.
You almost left it all behind for a career with Cutco if it wasn't for Michael Blackston and then meeting Keith Robinson to go do a show
That night.
for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And so that night, so what happened was Keith went up after me.
Only in comedy would you get a call at a Cutco training program. Be like, you got to be in Minneapolis in 5 hours.
5 hours.
And you're performing for some of the Timberwolves.
I'm looking at a leather strap and a practice knife, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, man? This isn't the dream. Turn this bus around.
Corporate shill.
For everybody out there, as a young comedian, you get a call and say there's a ticket waiting for you at the fucking
My first time
airport.
flying for comedy.
You made it.
I remember my first time. I went, "Oh my god,
First
I'm
time
gonna
flying.
fly for comedy." This is
Actually-
I felt you couldn't tell me shit, and I had a layover, and I got there, I had no money, and I had to text my brother to fucking put $100 in my
So you
bank
s-
account
oh.
so
The
I
fact
could
that somebody else is
get a
paying for
burger.
it.
My first flight ever was, Michael Blackson always, and I heard this was not until a weirdly not long time ago. Michael Blackson always had his name stay on as an employee at Philadelphia International Airport, so he always flew for free. 100%. He flew
shit.
buddy passes. So that's what it was. Why me and Keith weren't sitting together? This wasn't paid for by the gig. Mike Blackson
Has a buddy
goes,
pass.
there's a middle seat here and a seat over here, and you guys can sit in there.
I
So,
respect that.
like, oh, yeah, it was great. Great
Probably
hustle.
saved $100,000.
moving and shaking,
Easy,
baby.
Easy. So me and Keith get out there. I do my set. I take my clothes off at the end. Murders. Keith goes up there and has a good set. It's good, but it's like I'm watching people who
You're
murder
putting your
me.
clothes back on going, he knows Colin Quinn.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
buddy.
Buddy, afterwards, after the show,
This guy doesn't have zebra underwear.
so now Keith takes me and sits me down. You know, Keith's 10 years older than me or whatever. And he sits me down and he's like, all right, young fella. He goes, I'm listening, man. He goes, I got to get you up in New York, man. He goes, you're a funny kid, but like, he's like, you got bad habits. And he's like, give me all this like, not negative, but just like,
True,
you're funny,
You're
but
taking
like,
your underwear off.
No, the
the
underwear's staying on.
This is a class act. It's
I'm not some hack.
Yeah, this is the art of burlesque. I'm not I'm not hanging hog in front of a bunch of
He's
fucking
got
basketball
pasties
players.
on.
So
God.
it's so Keith goes Keith does fine, and he's sitting there, he goes, you got a lot of bad habits and blah, and then he goes, you got to he goes, taking off your clothes at the end of your set, like what? And all I'm reading from this, honestly, is I'm like, well, he's jealous.
Yeah, clearly this guy wants to be me.
I'm like, he's a black circuit comic who hasn't figured out black circuit comedy yet, dude. You got to go big.
It's not so subtle, man.
Yeah, you can't just sit there doing well-written jokes, you idiot. What are you doing, man? Like, where's your part? Where's your big part? So,
Man.
Let me tell you a little bit of something about showmanship.
yeah. So I remember going outside and
He
calling.
didn't hump the stool once.
By the way,
This guy know what the hell he's doing.
While I remember there's a lot of these shows would have a big airbrushed backdrop of something to take pictures in front of with like a professional photographer.
Sure.
And Keith's speech about like, I got to stop doing that and stop taking your clothes off because it's not, they're just laughing at fat guy in his underwear. He goes, you're not saying, it's not really being a comic. He's giving me good advice.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, if you'll excuse me for a second, these two morbidly obese black women want to take a picture with me in front of an airbrushed picture of Tupac making West Coast fingers.
I gotta go.
So I'll be right back. Hold that thought,
Yeah.
please.
I'll be fine, okay?
And then I went outside, smoked a cigarette. I mean, not even smoke a cigarette. I don't know if I smoked it, but yeah, I think I did. But I went outside and I was like, I called Kevin Hart, and I was like, hey, I go, I'm out here doing a show with this guy, Keith Robinson.
You ever heard of this know-it-all?
I swear to you, I go, he's in there giving me this advice on don't do the bodybuilding bit and all this stuff. I go, I'm up there killing, and he's like he did fine. And then Kev goes, I've actually talked to that guy at the Laugh House before. He goes, I think he's like real deal, like in New York scene. And he goes, we should like go up. We should take his offer. And I was like, yeah. And then we went up with him. And the first night we came to New York, he got us auditions at New York Comedy Club.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like comedy
like,
guru.
It was, yeah, I remember me and Kev
Like
always
a
say,
Sherpa.
Keith
Yeah.
always says that too. He remembers that night, like he got us both. No, I'm sorry. He got me on at New York Comedy Club. He got Kevin on at Gotham. And then we went up to the comic strip, and without used to have to stand outside for this lottery
Yeah.
thing. He went in and was able
Got
to
you
go.
the number.
He
Got your
goes,
numbers.
hey, give these guys 2 dates for the lottery. And he said, you remember Kev like jumping up like a Super Bowl hug I did with him? Because we were like, yo, this is, because it was all overnight. You were like, oh, here's the other world of this.
Yeah.
It's not just this like insulated thing that I've been in. And
You're
it was
rolling
pretty,
your eyes
pretty
at him
fun.
on the plane.
But he gets me.
Okay, buddy.
Absolutely. He gets me to stop. So now I'm like, oh, Keith's like our guru.
Sure.
So, all right, I better drop that stupid bodybuilding bit. So what I do the next week, I'm
Just
panicking.
picture you hanging it up
I'm
in a closet.
panicking on bailing on this bit that's like my big closer. And it's been, even if I have new jokes here
Is
and
this
there,
in Philly? You're back in Philly, or is this
Back
new?
in Philly.
You're back in Philly.
back in Philly.
You got the underwear on.
No, but now I'm not doing it now.
You're not doing it.
Because Keith told me not to do it. And then I have a couple sets
You
where
still
I'm
put them on in case you get jammed up.
What are you doing?
In case you're, in case
gotta have a
things
plan
go
B,
south,
dude.
I walked from it completely. And then,
Did you give them to somebody?
Nope.
Back to his dad.
Take these.
Yeah. Here. Those things are back in your drawer.
Also, only
Like Mean Joe Green.
you're the only dude who would find. You're 20 years old. You find leopard print underwear or zebra print underwear in your dad's drawer, and not be like, "What the fuck is my dad into?" You're like, "Oh, I gotta wear these."
Yeah, Step Pop Joe, dude. Guy had a huge hog and liked to show it.
Respect. I would
Respect,
too.
Joe. We get back. Oh, yeah. So the first week or a couple weeks I go and I'm not doing the bodybuilding bit. And I'm just like, I feel like there's like, it's like blue balls. You know what I mean? Like, where's my big fucking, I don't have like a big get out of here.
Crescendo.
Yeah, how you gonna
So I
top
go,
that?
all right, well, Keith said don't take my clothes off and blah, blah, blah. So let me figure out what my new thing is going to be. And this happened once. I remember the shirt I was wearing. It was a red shirt I had from Big and Tall.
Isn't it funny how that stuff
Reebok.
stays with you?
I know. It was like a Reebok shirt because I wore it a lot. It's just like I like the way it fit.
Oh, those Reebok big and tall shirts.
It was a little bit loose
Yeah.
and had a nice tight neck, which means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sometimes they were too. The collar would be too thick.
Yeah.
Like you were on a mock turtleneck. Thing would be choking you out.
so this is what I planned. I go, okay, here's my new bit I'm going to do. This is wild. So I show up to the show. Again, my prep before the show was to take a piece of just string and put it like around my neck and tape it right above my nipples. Just tape it down with Scotch tape. And then leave like another inch or two of string hanging. And I had my shirt on. What I packed in my bag was I made 2.
What the fuck?
This is so
I don't even know where this is going, dude.
I made 2 this big, easy, tinfoil rings. And before I went on stage, this is so dumb, I tied them to the rings to the edge of the thing. So it looks like I was dumb giant nipple rings. And I do a comedy set now, standing, like this.
Sure,
so
you
it's
don't
not
want
too obvious. I want you to bury the exactly. So I'm like doing my set like this.
Step on your punch.
And I just know I need a closer now. So after I do my last joke, that's a joke. And you get the lady go, oh, well, guys, by the way, I just got a new piercing. What do you think? Is it too much? That's all. That was a whole setup just to go. So I'm like, hey, look at my fat body and laugh again.
Oh, my
And
God.
Not in my underwear.
It didn't do very good, and I never did it again. But then, so the ending of the getting the bodybuilding story goes that a couple months later or something, I get into the finals. Like Def Jam was doing a contest, and if you won, you got to go to St. Louis to like open a big show they were doing. And me and Touré, through the course of a few weeks, came down. We were the finals. Me versus Touré, which is very, for me, I'm like, well, I'm going to lose.
Yeah,
I'm like, this guy's like so much better in season than me. I'm like, I'm not ready for this.
A killer.
And then they go, and also the finals is not going to be at like Blazing Thursdays where you're comfortable. It's going to be on a Friday or Saturday, their actual regular weekend headliner show.
Ooh.
And me and Touré will do 5 minutes apiece on one of those shows
Okay.
for the finals.
And neither one of you had done the weekend shows.
Touré has, yeah. Touré was
Okay.
hosting on weekends and
But you
featuring
weren't.
even some. No, not me.
Wow.
Maybe hosting a little bit, but like no, not featuring yet for sure.
Okay.
And I was very nervous going against Touré. So I'm telling the other open micers, I'm like, yeah, guys, I think I'm bringing back the bodybuilding bit. And they're even going, Jay, it's not fair. Like it's not. You can't.
Can't kill the guy.
You can't do this. It's not fair to do that.
He's got kids, man.
Yeah, I go. Hey, man, I'm
It's a tough
going.
business.
He goes, it's Def Jam. I'm taking this thing, and I'm going to St. Louis. So I go up there.
I'm going to St. Louis. What the
Dude,
fuck?
I went-
I'm going to make it to St.
St. Louis,
right?
St. Louis, here we come.
Not Hollywood.
And I went up on stage, and again, it's a weekend night, so it's like this is like people paid like whatever $20.
Sure,
ticket,
it's an expensive
$25
night
ticket.
out.
Yeah. You had to be funny on those weekend shows at the Laugh House. They worked all week.
And it wasn't gonna. And unless you had like, I forget who the headliner was, but whatever it wasn't someone like super like hip hoppy young. Like the crowd was a little bit older, to me at least, like 30s, 40s or something. And it wasn't like this young hip hop crowd. And I was like, oh shit,
Paula Poundstone.
And then Touré, I went up first. I drew like short straw, and I went first. So host, and then the host says, "Well, we're doing this contest. You guys gonna do 5 minutes?" And I'm going up there, and my jokes are eating shit because I also don't have jokes ready for this kind of situation yet.
Sure.
I'm not adapting still. I'm like, yo, when you talking to a bitch up in the club, and then they're like, what?
You're not working in the morning, man.
Yeah, we're with a bitch in the club. Like, I'm here with my wife. You piece of shit.
I'm an orthodontist.
Yeah. You black ass hood motherfuckers know, like, hood?
What?
I'm tenured at University of Pennsylvania. And I'm like, so my jokes are eating shit. And I remember saying to myself, I was coming to the end, I'm like, you know what, dude? Just bail on we're gonna lose.
You're
It's
not going to St.
good.
Louis.
We're not going to St. Louis.
We're never gonna make
How
it.
about worst case scenario? Let's keep a little dignity,
You still got the knives.
and we won't do the bit.
Sure.
And then just autopilot kicks in, and you go, my stepfather used to hang out with all these bodybuilders. What a gay, blah, blah, blah. Bodybuilding's so stupid and gay. Dan. I'm like, ah, shit. And I'm like, wow, here you go. This always kills at least. Dan. Shirt comes off. And I mean, crushing silence from the audience and just hearing people go like, oh, God.
You're like the receipt printer going.
And then,
They just had dinner.
yeah, they're eating dinner currently. We're the first thing.
yeah. They're still getting their first drink
Yeah,
drop.
they're eating a Buck the Fuck Wild meatball sub.
Uh-huh.
So
Shout out to Buck Wild.
I'm turning around and I'm unbuttoning my belt. I'm taking my belt, and as I'm doing this, I'm saying, I'm like having a crisis inside. 'Cause I'm going, you could stop now and just bail on this and be like, thank you guys. That's like, all right, that's it. Yeah, haha. I took my shirt off.
Cutco.
I took my shirt off, And
Don't do it, dummy.
but just and I pull my pants down, and I'm wearing this underwear.
Forgot the underwear. Fuck!
And they go. And by the way, I know Kurt's in the back. Metzger's in the back watching this, probably having such a ball watching me this not go well,
buddy.
And then I go. So then I drop the pants on the thing, and you just hear someone go, Jesus Christ.
Good Lord.
Like, what the fuck? And then when that music stops, and I'm
My word.
when that music stops, and I'm standing like this, and I said, just forever when that happened, it never wasn't a time that I can remember where the laughter wasn't so bombastic, like flying and hitting each other. Everyone's laughing so hard that you just, grab the.
You got time to close out.
But you grab the belt of the pants and hike them up for a second. You go, I'm Big J, everybody, thank you, good night. And you walk off and button the button, and people are high fiving. I'm just used to that being the situation, dude. Definitely when that stops, and I'm standing there like this, looking up, in underwear and my pants down, and dead silence in the room, and you just hear like a big fat black lady in the back goes, "What the fuck just happened?" And I was like, and then I kept missing my pants, like going for the grab, and it just took forever. And I just walked, and then Ray just went up and just had a smooth 5 minutes. I was like, that's the whole thing's over. I never did that. That was the last time I did it. But there's a comic view that exists in the world. That 6 months in the comedy, I got comic view.
Okay.
Because there was a.
That's your first. I mean, 6 months. That's early.
It's stupid. Well,
It's
I wasn't
too
ready.
early,
I wasn't
yeah.
ready for
No,
it.
yeah.
Well, because
I'm gonna be ready now.
Well, here, great reasoning though. AFTRA,
We would bomb.
Oh, dude.
AFTRA, the union.
Yeah.
Sure.
SAG-AFTRA. They weren't SAG-AFTRA. It was just AFTRA, but that's who the union was for doing TV stuff. And they were boycotting Comic View because you get Comic View, no flight, a deal on a hotel.
Where's it shooting out of?
Atlanta this year. A deal on a hotel.
Michael Blackson was flying all those guys out here.
And that's it. That's all they
You
had.
had to get yourself there 6 months in. But
And so-
that's an investment. You go, I
So
gotta
most
go. I gotta
people
go.
are like, if you're AFTRA or union in any kind of way, like you really couldn't do it, or you're scat. The union meant nothing to me. I'm like, what is AFTRA?
Yeah.
I'm not in that.
You're a guy in
so
his
they were like,
underwear.
yeah. They're like, so 6 months in, I sent them a tape, and they were like, yes, come on out.
Wait, you're
So I
gonna
went and did it.
You're gonna get yourself down here?
He
Come
didn't
on
give a
down.
shit. He didn't care at all. Actually, I
How'd
flew
that
down there.
set go?
I flew down there, and right away, it's just my first. That was my first time flying for comedy ever, for Comic View. But it was my first ever doing for like a gig was the Michael
Sure.
Blackson thing. But for Comic View, I flew down there, and another one. I'm such a dumbass. I just had like $200 on me, and I got to a hotel. I was so like starved for like that kind of like sex stuff and everything. I just got to the hotel right away, and like I think 30 minutes later, a fat black hooker was like in my hotel room that I was unattracted to and everything. But you just go, here's all of my money. Because by the way, as soon as she got there, you start realizing you're paying. You're like, hey, like I guess I want to come, but can you leave as soon as humanly possible? Like this whole feels creepy and scary. But I was just
Sure.
like, well, I'm alone in a hotel. Is this what you do? Just
I'm a
grab
rock
a hooker,
star,
I guess.
yeah.
Might as well grab a hooker.
Might as well grab a hooker, dude. You are South Jersey trash. Might as well grab a hooker.
First two times I
I've been
ever.
in town for 5 minutes. I get no
Bags
money.
aren't even upstairs yet.
First
Hey,
two
what's the
times-
hooker situation here?
First two times I paid for pussy unwittingly, and not even me thinking about it until the end of the day. My grandmother technically paid for it.
Shit was
both
her
times.
cash.
Both times, yeah. My first two times I ever paid for pussy.
Thanks a lot, Bubby.
Two of very few times. I haven't done it very many times, but the first two were my mom. My mom came
on
through
the
and paid
arm.
for it. Yeah.
You're opening the fucking
On
greeting card.
scholarship.
How'd that set go for the 6 months in? Probably okay.
That went pretty good. Yeah, they loved me getting naked down there.
Sure.
And that's what I said. But it's just dead and gone, that video. But like, first one I did would be so great to have because jeans rolled up like LL Cool J, pant leg rolled up.
That was my first introduction to was Bad Boys of Comedy.
Yeah.
And we used to fast forward through everybody to get to your set.
That was a fun one. That was such a fun experience too. Like getting to do it. All those things. It's not a bad track, especially starting young. Starting if you're like when people start like at 29, 30 years old and stuff like that, and just committing to black circuit is a very low ceiling. I was so young in it, and it's all there was there. That like it's such a great training because it just made me not afraid. I just got over being afraid of it
Situations.
pretty quick because you're like, well, it's not going to be as bad as the worst that went.
Sure.
Like I said, those people. Were you guys around when Black Shogun was around at all? Did you deal with Black Shogun? Gene?
Mm-mm.
I mean, dude, your Rolodex of
is wild.
Philly Laugh House
I'll
Comics.
tell you, it's one of my favorite stories of all time, and I think he's gone, and I think this resolved itself anyway. But you said Tommy Too Smooth earlier. Me and Kevin Hart one time got picked up, or I would drive, and it was like, hey, we're gonna go down to D.C. It was me, Beefy Funny, and Tommy Too Smooth and Kevin Hart. Me and Kev are the new guys.
Was he going? Well, Kevin Hart had a name.
No,
wasn't he Kev the something?
oh, Lil Kev the Bastard.
Lil Kev the
Yeah.
Bastard.
But
Tommy
no-
Too Smooth was murdering.
Oh, yeah, the characters and stuff.
Whoa.
But we went down to this guy,
You put a
Kadar.
blonde wig on him? Good night.
King Kadar. We were going to his room in D.C. Kadar's room, and I don't remember how I did or Kevin did. I'm sure it was like there were New Jack spots they called him. It was fine. I'm sure.
Doing somebody's room in another city, not a
yeah.
club. That was the
Oh, yeah.
that was the life.
Doing
yeah.
the New Jack
We're
spot.
driving
nonetheless.
down.
Where
New Jack spot.
they would bury on the bring up. Sometimes they'd make it good, or sometimes they're like, this next guy coming, I don't know what he's gonna
Yeah.
do. And you're just like, buddy, come on.
Yeah, give me a-
I'm
give me
already
a- give me a
shaking.
start.
I'm petrified over here.
So I went up. I think it was fine. Kevin did his thing. Beefy Funny went up and had a rough set. And Beefy Funny, I thought was very funny, very fun, very nice guy, but like a wacky character if you never met him before.
Mhm.
He's like all over the place. And he had a bad set. And then after the show, we didn't see him. Tommy Too Smooth went on, did his thing. He killed, I guess. And like me and Kevin is to the point where it's young comics, so we're just like, we're not going to make them like say, hey, you want to leave? Like I guess whenever they want to leave, we'll leave. You know, I'm driving.
Sure.
But you're just like, they're the older comics. I remember just sitting there and like me and Kev are just killing time, just kind of sitting blankly at a table. And Tommy Too Smooth comes upstairs from like the bathroom area or something. He goes, man, Beefy's going through it, man. And me and Kevin, we just don't know these guys very well or anything. We're like, okay, that's fine. He's like,
It's a wild set.
and he's like, he's not handling it with things well right now, man. I go, yeah, it's just, it's bad set. It happens. It's like, we don't want this conversation happening. I don't even know where it's going. But like, clearly Tommy wants to tell us something.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, man, sure. And he's like, he's just, man, the set, just things in his life right now. And we're like, sure, man, there's no rush. Like, whenever he's ready,
Yeah,
like, we'll
take your
go
time.
whenever. And he goes, Beefy's gay, man. You're like, what? Like, excuse me? You sure he wants us to know? I think he came out of the closet ultimately, but like, it was, I think he passed away now. But
You guys want to stop at Wawa?
He goes, Beefy's gay. I'm like, why are you doing this? We're not asking you. Let him go cry it out, and then we'll get on the road.
It was a bad set, man.
Oh man, I can bomb so bad I'm gonna turn gay. You're sitting there as a
I'm
young
so bad, I'm
comic.
going to tell people. That's just what a funny line to have here in your life. Beefy's gay, man.
Get
I gotta
over
get
it.
home, dude.
Wake up, dude. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Me and Kevin were just like, why? Do you think he wants us to know this yet? Like, you just confessed to us like two new comics who are they're just using us for the ride, which is fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
it is what it is. That used to happen all the way. One time, Kurt Metzger and his ex-girlfriend Jessica, who was with for a long time, she would kind of come along a lot of the stuff
Sure.
we did.
What's the car?
And this car at the time, this is a hatchback '87 Honda Accord.
Gee, the bomb mobile, dude. Jesus Christ.
Is it paint or is that just the color of the metal? Who knows? I still don't know. But
Sure.
hatchback, 2-seat, 3 seats theoretically in the back or whatever. And this was a classic move in the black comedy
Two-door,
circuit,
right?
especially when you're young. Yeah,
Oh,
especially
my
when you're
God.
young. This is a thing that happens in comedy a lot. Like especially with like older guys who aren't necessarily making it either. Like they're still hustling sort of in their own way. And you see the hustler's mentality. So like it would be me and Kurt and Tommy Too Smooth are supposed to go up to do the Boston Comedy Club Sunday night in New York. Meet up in front of the Laugh House, and then Tommy's, hey, I hope you don't mind my cousin, my nephew, and my cousin who just got out of jail are coming to the show. The cousin just got out of jail, one of them, and he looked it. He just got out of jail, and we're like, yeah, but here's the issue. I have this car, and there's 5 of us now, or 6 of us now in this car. And he's like, and they go, I go, so I can't bring everybody. And they just do like we'll make it work. It's just in a way, it's like a pressuring. You just go,
just kicking the can down
you're
the
like,
road.
yeah, right. Okay, yeah, no, I guess we could figure it out. Here's the solution. A guy who just got out of jail, Tommy Too Smooth, and his, no, I'm sorry. Kurt got in the back now for this reason. Tommy Too Smooth up front in the back seat. Kurt, the two just home from jail guys and Kurt's girlfriend laying across them in the thing. Who, when we got there, we get out of the car, she goes, those guys kept trying to like really put fingers near my ass and do this the whole ride up, and we're just kind of like, because we're like, I'm not. Like, what do you want us to do exactly?
Shut the fuck up.
They're gay.
I'm like, this is the thing where you're saying, you're like, what is it exactly you want us to do? Like,
I gotta get gifts money into
yeah, it's
these
like,
guys.
yeah, it's like, and you know, and by the way,
I got my mom's Easy Pass.
yeah, and by the way, get your shit together because it's gonna be happening the whole way home too. So I'm gonna need you to suck it up for a couple more hours if you don't mind, sweetheart. You're gonna get groped by this prison guy because Tommy Too Smooth's taking me up here.
I could be opening for him all over the Eastern Seaboard if this works out well. You don't know what this could lead to for me.
Yeah,
I could get to St. Louis.
Dude, the steps. How many? If we all went back and thought about some sacrifices you made for a show that meant nothing in the world. To me, it was
every
it was
show.
selling my Stackhouse and Iverson signed replica jerseys, but I got them signed to the games. I got him signed at a game. I took him to a pawn shop for $40 to get gas to go to New York one time for a show that you're like means nothing.
Stackhouse replicas, by the way. Nobody got excited.
Yeah, no, I think these are crazy replicas.
I didn't walk out with 150.
Funerals.
like they would have been worth $100,000.
$40.
Funerals, weddings, and everything. You
Yeah.
thought, wild.
It
Man, that is.
was good times though. But I said I really
fingers in my butt.
the best college.
And
I think,
nice guys. What's the problem?
Yeah. No, listen, the guy, he's trying to turn it around. He needs a good woman in his life.
Hey, you want to drive? I'll get back there.
He paid his debt to society.
One of my favorite stories ever of like a foot in the mouth thing. I was dating a girl for a long time who was dumb as a brick. Cute, all that shit, but she was pretty stupid. And when we first started hanging out with Kurt and his girlfriend, Kurt and all his friends, I liked hanging out with a lot because it was very, very different for me.
Right.
My friends were all great dudes, loyal dogs, but these were Philly.
Sure.
Let's go try
He
to
was a little more.
Let's try to figure out chicks. Let's go fucking play basketball and go watch the Eagles and Sixers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurt was the first, like, their art school.
Sure.
You know, they all read shit and
Right.
fucking.
Intelligentsia.
I liked being sort of like in a world where I was like, oh, I have to like kind of play up to these guys, like conversations. But I'll bring my girlfriend around.
I was reading The Far Side the other day.
I'll bring her around a bunch, and 2 foot in the mouth one she did that was great. One my fault, the other one not. Was Kurt and his girlfriend had a friend named Jeff who turned to Brooke.
Okay.
Before it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And so Jeff Brooke got a gig, and everyone was hustling for money. So Kurt tells me one time, he goes, yeah, Jessica and Jeff Brooke are doing they're making like a fetish video today, like for this company where it's just feet stuff. So they're just like breaking balloons with their feet, and like you don't even see their bodies. Just their
That's
feet.
only in comedy would that
pushing
get
pedals.
passed along as like, hey, I got a good gift, $50, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So she does it.
Keep Tommy Too Smooth out of the car.
Her and Jeff Brooke do the video. And when we go to Kurt's house that night, she was telling us about it, and she goes, oh, you want to see the video we made? Because it's not pornographic at all. But so I'm sitting there with my girlfriend, this ditz, and Kurt and Jessica, and we're watching the video, and it's just, breaking balloons. And then they just show like a foot pushing a gas pedal. And my girlfriend goes like, oh, I mean, it's crazy. You could just see so totally that's a guy's foot.
Oh.
And then, you know where that story's going.
Sure.
It was like, it was Kurt's girlfriend's foot.
Oh.
Like, we're going to go. We're going to get out of here.
Look at the hoof on that one.
And the other foot in the mouth, but this one was my fault totally. So now I'm hanging out with Kurt and meeting a bunch of his friends more. And it's like, I'm like enjoying those hangs. And it's like, we all went to Olive Garden one night. It's me, Kurt, all his like,
It's a lot of foot videos.
Art school friends, and his girlfriend and my girlfriend's there, and she's just being quiet because she just knows this is not her, or it's not my world really.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
I love how you're at an Olive Garden. You're like, babe, don't embarrass me here. You gotta.
Absolutely,
We're
I'm like,
playing
don't
up
embarrass me.
here, yeah.
And then she goes,
Don't ask for a cherry in your Coke.
Talk about a vulnerability that I gave to information I gave to somebody that they used against me, but. When she would talk at these things, I was definitely being mean. Not like like you dumb bitch or anything, but I would just kind of have like an eye roll at her. When
stern,
when she not stern, no, when she would just get involved in the conversation, I would almost just kind of have like a, you know, hey guys, you got to let her talk, I guess. You know what I mean? Like she's here too, but I mean, I know. You know,
She's not smart like us.
I'm definitely yes. I'm definitely giving her that vibe. I go, sorry guys, she's
Just
all
give her
looks.
another breadstick. All
Yeah,
right?
she's all looks. This one's not very learned.
You're
So-
wearing batting gloves.
These knives stink.
I gotta take off my gloves. He goes, oh, a bottomless salad.
Just a bowl,
So,
plate full of breadsticks.
I'm going, and like one of the shoot downs I gave to her of like, you know, whatever. I'm definitely trying to give off the vibe of like, sorry guys, I brought the dummy, but you know, look at those tits, right? And
Classy gentleman.
so shitty. Well, no, I didn't say anything like that, but I'm saying I'm giving up. That's the energy I'm definitely giving.
Not.
It's
You're in
like
an
the-
Olive Garden.
Yeah,
What
I'm
are
in
you,
an
crazy?
when everyone's family there. And then it's just like I don't know it. Talking about not knowing, not looking around. I'm just still around. Like I'm like, these guys are all so smart, and I could talk about this movie none of my friends saw, and and I don't know that she's next to me, just like it's boiling. And when there is just a lull in table conversation, 10 people or so, a lull, she just goes, Jay wipes his ass till it bleeds.
Jesus Christ.
And you just heard like clanks of like, like forks and shit at the table, and I'm like, this chick, right?
I told you she's nuts. No table manners this morning. Get your elbows
Jay
up.
wipes his ass till it bleeds. She just had to get. She's like, so he's not so great. Don't let him fool you. But they try to act like he's fucking high society over here.
There's
I
also-
know you. You wipe your ass till it bleeds.
I'll have the scallopini.
Yes. Apologies. Is it possible to get a little extra dressing on the side for this? Because
Buttered noodles with Parmesan.
I asked for no parsley on my noodles.
or that's when they come over and he goes, "Who had the tour of Italy?" You go, "It's me over here."
I don't know what she's talking about, by the way. She's back on the sauce.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I mean,
Big J Okerson. Jason,
Jason.
Michael. What's the other one?
Okerson.
No.
Oh, a share.
A share.
A share.
you would share too much.
The
I hope we can do it
Chronicles
again.
of
We're
Jason.
we're nowhere.
No, I know.
The Chronicles of Jason, Volume 4.
Till the next installment.
We did a good teaser too. As I got beat up by promoters. We'll have to get to that
Yeah,
next
yeah.
time.
Got beat up.
Buddy, what do you got coming up? What do you want the folks out there to
Plug
know?
away.
BigJComedy.com for all my dates, man.
course.
I'm going all over the country for the rest of the year. So look for a city near you at BigJComedy.com. Listen to The Bonfire 5 days a week. Faction Talk Sirius XM 103 with me and the great Robert Kelly. And, of course, Legion of Skanks
Yes.
on Gas Digital. And, of course, the new Story Wars.
The
I hope you
Hater.
guys will do some time. The
Yes.
new Story Wars show. We're 6 episodes in right now, so look for that on YouTube and Gas Digital. Very, very fun show. That's everything.
Love it. Buddy, you are the fucking best.
Yeah, my
Love
favorite.
you guys.
Love
Man, we love you. Kippy, what do you got for them?
Guys, Route 66 is coming up, and also if you're in New York, this Tuesday, August 27th, we're at the Gramercy Theater along with Big J Okerson.
Yes,
we're going
there
to be
you
doing
go.
a little
Look at
AYG and friends. We got Norman, we got Ari. Get your tickets if they're still available.
Gang, we love you, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.